Hello and welcome to another episode of this movie review YouTube channel, which I call The Popcorn King. So today we're going to be doing a review of a little animated film called Inside Out 2. What is this film about? Who's in this film? We've got Amy Poehler, we've got Maya Hawke, we've got a whole bunch of great actors actually. Phyllis Smith from The Office, Paul Walter Hauser, a bunch of actors. And it's directed by Kelsey Mann. And yeah, like I say, it's the second film in the Inside Out franchise, I guess. Pixar film. Made a bunch of money in its opening weekend. It's like the second biggest opening for an animated film of all time. Good. It deserves it. It's fun. It's silly. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you cry. They introduce a whole bunch of new characters from the first one. So I mean, like, do I need to explain the plot? Basically, the conceit is inside everybody's brain is sort of basic emotions that sort of help guide you through your life, and they're there for you, and everybody has them. And it starts off when you're a kid with just one, just sort of happiness, contentment, that kind of stuff, and then it gets more complicated as you grow up. And now in this film, we're in the teen years, we're in puberty, right? So our girl that we're sort of inside her head, new characters get introduced. It's no longer just sort of anger and happiness and sadness. Now there's like more complicated emotions like anxiety, embarrassment, that sort of emotions that come with the pubescent years. I have to say it's brilliant. Like the analogy of it all still works. It's still so good. They really stick to the rules of what they commit, right? They really commit to the rules, and they explore like every possible imaginative idea that can be explored within this kind of idea, this conceit. And they do it so well. It's so imaginative. It's so fun. Every single part, you're like, oh, that's clever. Like every single moment of this film, you're just like, oh, that's clever. Oh, that's clever. Oh, that's really clever. That is. Oh, that's really clever. Like the whole time, you're just like, this is so clever, and it's funny, and it's silly. It makes you cry. Like I was at the cinema with a certain Italian lady, and she was like bawling her eyes out. She was crying so much. I thought, have I done something? Like it was that bad. She was crying quite badly, and yeah, I really, really recommend this film. It touches a part of your heart. Like the first one, I guess the sort of message behind it is really just like, sadness is really important. Sadness really plays a part in your own happiness, if you know what I mean. Like there's a reason why I look back at happy moments of my life and I start to feel kind of sad. I start to well up because it's the sadness I feel is really just a testament to how happy those times were, how happy those memories were. And in that case, like sadness is super important. And in this one, you've got anxiety, and anxiety is really sort of there helping you along, trying to make sure you've got sort of a plan for every single possible situation that can occur. And it's so difficult when you're a teenager and everything's changing and you're trying to become an adult. You already think you are an adult in some aspects, and you're just trying to make it in this world, right? You're just trying to make it as a fully fledged human being, a fully fledged human being. And anxiety's there to really sort of just fucking make you, it thinks you think being anxious is just being prepared, but it's not. It's really detrimental in some cases, and it's really, really painful. And you can see people who have panic attacks, how debilitating it is. And it's important to know that that's normal, that's natural. Everybody goes through the same thing, and it's really important to know that you will make mistakes in this life. You will not always be in the right. You will not always be the perfect human, the way that, everybody says to their little boy or their little girl, like, oh, you're just a perfect little chubby little boo. Like, that's how people talk to their babies. And you grow up just thinking, I'm amazing, my parents love me, and like, God willing, you've got good parents the same way I did. Like, you'll grow up as kids sort of thinking that. And as you become a teenager, that spell disappears as you make mistakes, as you lose friends, as you don't do so well in class, or as things start not going the way they're supposed to, and you don't have mum and dad there all the time. It's really important that you understand that you're not perfect. And this film is really sort of reaching at that part of my heart where it's like, yeah, I kind of, everybody has to come to that realization on their own that they're not perfect, and that's okay. And you're going to have horribly anxious moments in your life where you overthink everything, and you're going to make the wrong decisions, and you're going to do sort of bad things. You're going to be the bad guy sometimes in your life. And that's okay. No matter what happens, that's all part of who you are. And as long as you can sort of learn from that, and as long as you can make your way through this world without hurting people too much, then you're doing okay. And you've got to be sort of kind to yourself. You've got to really give yourself a break and not be too hard on yourself, because this shit happens to everybody. And the fact that a cartoon like Pixar, which is really just a cartoon for the adults as well, like, it's not just a kids film, but they can just present such interesting discussions, and is such an imaginative, creative, colorful way. I just, Pixar just are consistently showing why they are the best in terms of movie studios. They're so good, and I really do hope, they probably will due to the amount of money they made, I hope they make an Inside Out 3. And then we'll finally get to see Nostalgia come out and have her moment, maybe.